Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and my voice is finally coming back, so I thought I'd get back into the swing of things and make some content. I've got a really neat SSD that I got in the other day. This was going to be part of my next Amazon haul, but it's got enough quirkiness that I thought it warrants its own video, and I thought you all might enjoy this one. So this is a solid-state drive designed for smartphones. As you can see, I've got it plugged into my iPhone right now. These are almost a dime a dozen right now on Amazon. But it's got this real-time diagnostics display that we'll dive into in a minute. Additionally, it's got a USB-C port at the bottom for power, but it also has a little hub built in, so you can actually plug in additional USB devices off of this. It's got Magsafe if you want to hook it up that way. It's just a neat little product, and I thought it might be fun to dive into it a little bit here. So that's what we're going to do in just a second, but I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this came in through the Amazon Vine program free of charge. However, no one has reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded, and all opinions are my own. So let's get into it now and see what this drive is all about. Now, the price point on these starts at around $125 for a 512 gig version. This is the 1 terabyte version that costs just under $200 if you click on the coupon buttons that they've got on the Amazon pages. This is from a company called Twopan, and as you can see right now, we're recording some ProRes video, and the drive is currently, according to its display here, drawing 1.8 watts of power. This is probably one of the more important metrics to watch if you are recording video with your iPhone to an external drive, and the reason is that iPhones cut off anything plugged into their USB-C port if they draw more than 4.5 watts of power. And with these SSDs, it's very easy to draw more than that. But as you can see here, we've been steadily at around 1.8 watts or so, just under 2 watts. So we're well within the margin there, which is great. Additionally, it's a little bit smaller. You also get a readout of the read and write speeds in real time. And this is another important metric to keep up with, especially if you are recording ProRes video. So right now we're recording ProRes at 4K at 60 frames per second, and we are running at about 180 megabytes per second of throughput to the drive, and it's been able to keep up with that, which is good. There is a cooling fan on board, which you don't hear. It is silent as they advertise, so that's great, but you also get the temperature readout there along with the lifespan of the SSD. Additionally, it gives you an indicator as to how fast your connection is back to the phone, and we've got that 10 gig USB-C connection. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording for a second. I'm going to plug in my microphone here from my DJI microphone set here. I'll switch it back on, and let's see what happens to the drive when I do that. So what you'll see now is that we're drawing a little bit more power, and that's because, of course, we've got a USB device plugged in, but the device works, which is really helpful, especially if you're out in the field looking to record video with an external microphone. So I've got this going here. What I will do really quick is pull up the settings screen. I'm using the Final Cut Camera app, which is free and a great way to record video on your iPhone. And if I hit the thing here, you can see that the wireless microphone is showing up, so the USB components are working here. So I'm just going to reattach it to the little stand I've got, and we can see things working there. And then I'm just going to start recording again with my thing attached here. So we are drawing now more power, slightly more, but we're still within the margin there, which is great. So I'm able to do both things here. One thing I did find with this, though, is that if you decide to run power through that USB port, which you can do, it will reset the drive. It won't erase it, but it will turn it off and turn it back on again. So be sure to not plug it in while you're recording, otherwise you're going to lose what you're working on or put it at risk. It does light up here around the 1 terabyte logo. I don't know what that light indicates. I don't think it's an indicator of drive health. It just changes color every once in a while, so it's mostly aesthetic. Now, when you are not recording, it will shut the display off after a few seconds, but if you just give it a shake, it will switch itself back on again. And one other thing it's got here, and I'll just take it off the stand once more, let's flip over to my overhead camera, is that it also is Magsafe compatible. So if you have a magnetic ring on your phone, or you have an iPhone, you can just attach it to the back. It'll stick magnetically, and then you can use it that way. Now, of course, you still have to connect it to your phone. So what they give you in the box are 2 cables here to do that. So they have an angle on them, so I can just plug it into the drive here and then just pop the connector in like so, and it stays connected to the back here. So if you prefer to have it connected to Magsafe as opposed to just hanging off the end of your port there, you're able to do that too. So lots of neat options with this little device here for connectivity, and I thought that was worth talking about. But they don't give you a cable to connect it to your computer, unfortunately. Now, of course, you can plug it directly in, like I'm going to do right now, to my MacBook here. But as you can see, it covers up all of the ports on the side of the computer. I can't even plug it into power now. So you do have to pick up one of those USB-C female to male cables. Usually those are used for cable extension, but what you can do is plug it into that cable and then plug it into the computer. Just be sure to get one that supports 10 gigabit speeds. But now that we have it plugged into the computer, why don't we take a look and see how it performs. All right, so we're running a Blackmagic disk speed test here, and as you can see, we're not quite getting the advertised write speed here. They're saying we should get 960 megabytes per second. The reality is once it gets going here, we're in the 600 range or so, which isn't bad, and certainly adequate for ProRes video capture, at least for now on the iPhone. The reads, of course, are much better, and I think it's due to the fact that they're trying to keep that power consumption at a minimum, so it's probably safer to lose a little bit of performance, but still be compliant with ProRes bitrate requirements and deliver a good experience for the user, which it looks like this drive is doing. And if we jump over to my little display here, I'm trying to do a live handheld shot here, you can see the readout on the display as the test cycles, and it's running pretty close to what we're getting on the actual test here. So altogether, I think we've got a pretty decent performing drive here for its intended purpose, which is recording video on a phone. So there you go. It's a quirky little product from a company I haven't heard of before, but they thought of a lot of the issues that you run into when you're trying to get a solid-state drive to work on a phone out in the field for video recording. I love the fact that the USB port here does allow you to connect other USB devices to it beyond just power, and it probably would have done better with two ports, so you could have one for power and one for a peripheral that you want to plug in. But all in, a pretty nifty little device here from a company called Twopan. That'll do it for this one. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.